Wow. I love my coffee on game day. It's just like it's the beginning of the whole festival. And today, of course, is Thirsty Thursday. So hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Bear, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boot Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. So let's get open for business here. And let's wake up the football gods as the Dallas Cowboys prepare to take on, the New Orleans Saints. Thursday night football. You know, here it is. It's week 13, guys. This season is rolling along. We only have 73 days, 9 hours, 23 minutes until the Super Bowl. That's the sad thing about football. It's like we wait for so long for it to get here, and then it gets here, and then it is gone so quickly. So I'm savoring every single game, even the losses. I'd rather watch a football game where the Cowboys lose than no football game at all. But hopefully tonight will be the night that the Dallas Cowboys can get back on track. So for the New Orleans Saints that have been beat up by injuries just like us, unfortunately for them, they lost Jameis Winston, who was 5-2, and had that team looking like they were going to be making a lot of noise come playoff time. Unfortunately, Jameis Winston went out. They've lost 4 straight. Well, quite frankly, you could almost say the same thing about the Dallas Cowboys because we started off great, looking like we were going to make some noise. We lost our quarterback for a game. We lost a multitude of others, and we're only 1-3 the last 4 games. It was a no-nut November for the Dallas Cowboys. It was putrid. It was just bad. And you can look at it and point and say, well, you did have a lot of injuries. You did have some things that went against you and so on. But in the end, as Bill Parcells says, you are what your record says you are. And this game is probably the Saints' last opportunity to really get themselves back on track to try and get into the playoff conversation. For the Dallas Cowboys, this needs to be a launching point for them to try and make the run towards the playoffs. By no means is what happened in November a precursor to what will or will not happen in the playoffs. This time last year, Tampa Bay was 7-5 in second place in their division and getting blown out by New Orleans. Hopefully that doesn't happen to the Cowboys getting blown out in New Orleans, but if it ends up leading to us going to the Super Bowl, I'm okay with that. But for New Orleans, Trevor Siemian had been doing most of the duties at quarterback, but they've decided that, at least we're told, that Tyson Hill is going to be the starting quarterback. But understand, I believe Sean Payton will be very, very deceptive. He might start the first play of the game with him and then end up rotating with Trevor Siemian, trying to find some different things and mismatches for the team. The other question, big question mark that could be helpful for the Saints is Alvin Kamara, who's been practicing this week on a limited basis. He is questionable for them with the sprained MCL. He's been out the last 3 weeks, but if they can get him back and he's anywhere close to what he normally is, that poses a lot of danger for the Dallas Cowboys. For me, I believe that the New Orleans Saints are going to try and be really running the football because when you look at the Cowboys, their defensive line has been the weakness and the Achilles heel for a lot of these games. Teams feel like they can run on the Cowboys. And with the comeback of DeMarcus Lawrence, this is going to get really interesting to see how well he plays after being out since week 1, and especially playing now with Rookie of the Month defense, Micah Parsons, who's been on an absolute positive tear, having 5 sacks in the last 3 games alone and 9 sacks on the year. What's crazy is, this is almost mind-blowing. DeMarcus Lawrence's best season, he had 14.5 sacks. His second best was 10. Micah Parsons gets 1 more sack. Micah Parsons is right there, second behind DeMarcus Lawrence in sacks in a season. But more than that, you look at the number of solo tackles, the quarterback hits, the pressures. He is an absolute anomaly. He is, at least this first season, and hopefully we don't have the Chase Young effect next year. He is looking like a generational player right now. The bend that he has from the outside, the speed, the hand strength, and the things that he can do is unbelievable. And quite frankly, to me, he is the new face of the Dallas Cowboys defense and is becoming the leader of that defense. Now you get DeMarcus Lawrence back, that's only going to help that much more because you can't focus on just one of these guys. And come next week, for the first time, this is the opportunity to have Neville Gallimore, Tristan Hill, D-Law, Randy Gregory, and Micah Parsons out on the field for the first time together against the Washington football team. We'll get to the Washington football team, of course, a little bit later. One note here while I'm in the middle of this video. We can get club-level seats if we have 10 people or more together at FedEx Field for $290. If you are interested, let me know by tomorrow if you are, so that way I can place the order with the Washington football team. The good thing about it is, as opposed to buying them on StubHub or any of the sites, is they put like a $50 fee on each of the tickets and things. So it costs you a lot more than that face value. And this deal is, if you were just buying two from, say, Washington or elsewhere, are about $450. So getting this discount is actually really, really a great price for them. And so I'm just trying to find out how many people do want to. We'd be able to actually tailgate, of course, my tailgate, and then sit together at the game. And I believe the club level, they don't have the sewage pipes. That's in the lower level. That's in the cave, okay? So these are sewage-free seats. So email me, cowboysmark94@gmail, if you're interested in those. But for tonight, we do have some issues. We do know that we're missing the Jar. Blake Jarwin is still out because of being on the COVID list, along with Terrence Steele. He's out. Amari Cooper practiced yesterday, which is basically a walkthrough before they flew off. He practiced yesterday, is questionable for tonight. CeeDee Lamb coming off of the concussion. He is, of course, a full go for the game as well. Zeke Elliott, who we had heard may be shut down this week, according to Jerry Jones. You know, Jerry Jones this is Jerry Jones.
I think that's a part of leadership, is to have some of the guys that have gone before that have been disappointed to share it with everybody involved. For me, it's a reminder. I, too, have been here 23 years. And it is a reminder. I've been here when it was glory hole days, and I've been here when it wasn't. And so, having said that, I want me some glory hole.
He wants some glory holes. And the Cowboys really do need to get back on track. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The Cowboys need to get back on track and start their winning ways. If we cannot take care of business against teams that are crippled, without a quarterback, then we don't need to be looking any further to, like, playoffs.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs?
Yeah.
You kidding me? Playoffs?
So with that being said, let's check in with Good Morning Football and hear what they had to say about Dak versus Tyson Hill.
Their home turf and turn their season around. Cowboys Saints Thursday 8 p.m. on NFL Network, on Fox, and streaming on Prime Video. We, of course, have a coach who will not be on the sidelines for this one. Let's go to Jane Slater. She has all the latest from Dallas ahead of TNF.
The Cowboys needed that win against the Raiders last Thursday and didn't get it. They need their head coach, Mike McCarthy, on the sidelines for their third game in 12 days. They won't have him. He's sidelined with COVID. And just when there was hope that they might get their wide receiver Amari Cooper back, it was McCarthy talking to us from the phone, holed up in his hotel room, who said that Amari Cooper is still dealing with the cough and his gut tells him that he's not going to be able to practice or be available for Thursday's game. So what is the silver lining heading into this one? Well, it seems like the team is focusing on being mentally resilient. It was corner Trayvon Diggs who said, if you think it's tough, it's going to be tough. And they are getting back their defensive end, DeMarcus Lawrence, a bona fide leader on that side of the ball. It was Diggs who said he's returned to being that guy and make sure that they're in all the right places. An additional piece of good news, which doesn't help them on Thursday, but it sounds like we can expect Randy Gregory and Neville Gallimore to return to that defensive line, possibly against Washington, meaning some of these players are coming back in what is now becoming a very tight race in the NFC East as we head into December.
Is it?
Thank you so much, Jane. Dallas has lost 3 of their last 4. No Mike McCarthy on the sidelines for Thursday Night Football against a very banged-up Saints team. So I kind of don't want to hear it with the setbacks with the Cowboys. If you look across the field, the Saints have dealt with so much more. But the Cowboys need to win. Can they, Rob, withstand this latest setback?
I think so. I mean, let's be honest. They were void of playmakers the last few weeks. You can't lose a guy like CeeDee Lamb and lose Amari Cooper at the same damn time, okay? And your left tackle who, statistically, Dak Prescott, this offense plays better when this guy's in the lineup. You can't lose those guys for a few weeks. I know Tyron Smith came back last week. But you can't lose those guys for an extended period of time and expect this offense to continue to keep rolling. I know Amari Cooper's probably not going to play this week, but to have CeeDee Lamb back, that's everything. I thought Cedric Wilson and those guys dropped a few passes, dropped some opportunities, and they just didn't have the same dynamic guys like a CeeDee Lamb out there. So just injecting him into this offense, I think this offense will be better. I think they're going to score more points. And defensively, to have DeMarcus Ware to be on the other side.
DeMarcus Lawrence.
Which DeMarcus Ware was out there?
Not DeMarcus Ware, DeMarcus Lawrence. I'm sorry, right? My mind went back a few years, but to have DeMarcus Lawrence back to be able to get after the opposing quarterback, man, I think it helps Dan Quinn out. I know he's going to be playing head coach a little bit more this game, but it helps those guys out. They need all of their playmakers for Dallas to continue to beat up on people.
To hold off the 2-6 Washington football team?
Yeah, you got to hold them all.
I know. It's crazy. They got to win this game. This is scary, scary times. This thing is all starting to shape up like it feels a lot like an MLB playoff race. Like, it's there I have a 2-game lead over Washington with 6 to play. And this is when you start hearing that ridiculous term magic number about the Cowboys' magic number is 5. It is sitting there. They need those wins, Washington losses, and this would be an all-time collapse if this happens. If it happens, I'm with you. I think the CeeDee Lamb thing makes a difference. I also am fascinated to see the Kellen Moore thing in this one because there's a feeling here of like dad's away, you know, like I'm getting into the liquor cabinet and I'm just going to pick the fun stuff.
Yeah.
I think if you're Kellen Moore, listen, that's a very unfortunate circumstance with Mike McCarthy. I respect it, but don't think Kellen Moore does not have his eyes on a head coaching gig one day, and this is not going to be at the top of his reel when I coach the Cowboys more so than ever on national television. I don't think I'm doing the cloud of dust. I think I am going up top. I think I'm putting on a show because, look, the defense is really bad, Peter, get into it. I don't know if they can snap their fingers and fix that defense. This might have to be old-fashioned Cowboys win 38-35, and that's going to be CeeDee Lamb, that's going to be Tony Pollard, and that's going to be Kellen Moore saying, I'm throwing a party when Dad's out of town. Let's go.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I mean, things felt weird in October.
How is New Orleans going to score that many points?
This show for years, and Cowboys, everything's fine and dandy, and they're lighting up the league. Like, that's not the Cowboys. They lost 3 of 4. Drama. Yeah. No head coach. Players out. Everyone, here come the Eagles and the Washington football team. That's the Cowboys. Sands through the hourglass. Yes, that's what I know. And this is what we get on a Thursday night. And everyone's watching. After losing at home to a Raiders team that could not scratch a win their last 3 weeks. This is what it's all about. And they play a Saints team that everyone is writing off, but certainly is playing for their season as well and still alive for the playoffs. The issue to me is the defense. And last week, Derek Carr was without Darren Waller for most of the game. He's obviously without him.
All right, that's enough of it. So we'll see what happens tonight, but I'll remind you that even Buffalo lost to Jacksonville, and there's been some crazy games out there where you don't expect a team to lose. That's the thing about football. It's one of the things that makes us watch. You never know who might lose a game. It's no predetermined that this team is going to go, and be a juggernaut and end up winning every single game. There's only been one undefeated team. teams will have ups and downs. And when you look at it, the Dallas Cowboys had been cursed by a lot of injuries to key players. And in the past, when we've lost Tyron Smith, it's just been doom and gloom. We've lost Tyron Smith, our quarterback, our defensive lineman. I mean, we've had a multitude of things, and yet they're still competing. So we'll see what happens tonight. I hope you guys tune in. We'll start our broadcast probably about 7:30. We're going to bring out the big sub because we are undefeated when we bring out the 3-foot sub. So it may be that we do a 3-foot sub every week. We're going to do a 3-foot shrimp po' boy tonight. And we're going to have some shrimp and grits. Hopefully we'll be feasting on New Orleans. And with that being said, I got to go out and get me a whole lot of shrimp and that sub and get those racks and stuff together for you guys. And with that being said, you know what time it is. It's time to roll.
Our coach here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the show for the sports report.
You did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about